Hello, Loreheads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I am John.
Sorry.
My name is Mark.
Sort of forgot it halfway through there. Anyway, today we're talking about Act 2 of the second season of Arcane. That's my feeling on it.
I'm just putting this out there right now.
Yeah.
I think that we should do, after we've wrapped Arcane, the all 3 acts, I think we should do a 4th episode. I think there's too much to talk
have like a little review of the whole thing. Yeah.
Holistically.
Yeah.
Let's we probably
there's
have
so
to.
much to talk about.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Frankly, after we did we did our last episode, like the very next day I was rewatching episode 2 with Sarah, and I was like, man, there's so much shit that I did not talk about. We didn't talk at all about like Jace and Heimer and Echo, and it's like there's a lot that's going on even in just that first act. I completely agree, because it will also, I keep having this doubts of so much of what has been shown is going to be so contextualized by Act 3, right?
Yes,
Right.
Absolutely. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about with this one. But okay.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, for visibility for you folks at home, like, I'm trying to take notes as we watch, and, like, I'm sure you're watching like I'm watching, which is in awe. And sometimes I'll make it 30 minutes into an episode and be like, God damn it, I forgot to write down fucking anything. Like, so this will be helpful for.
Yeah, sure.
I don't write notes the first time I watch.
You watch them twice, all of them?
I specifically, if I can. That's the thing. Is also first act, I only got to rewatch the first, like, one half of it. I was able to cleanly rewatch all these because I ended up watching all 3 of them in one go.
Hell time, yeah.
Which I did not plan on doing, but I was like, well, I gotta see what happens next here.
When you have the time. All right, well, I guess let's get right into episode 4. Then.
Just the opening of episode 4. What the fuck? Maddie and Caitlin?
I know, a lot going on. I think it was confirmed, by the way, that the time skip here is about 3 to 6 months, I think.
Yeah, some number of months.
So there is a time skip, but it's not years. It's at most like 6 months, which that's what it felt like to me. A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I was initially very intrigued by this. I'm gonna be really. I feel like, is this gonna get development in Act 3? You think? Because she falls out of the Maddie falls out of the act pretty much after this little scene.
She does. She has this one scene. I don't know. I think maybe Maddie is gonna be unhappy with Caitlyn's turn on Ambessa, is my guess. Because I do think Maddie was more interested in Anoxian Caitlyn, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong, but
I don't know.
The way she talked, it seemed like she was kind of encouraging Caitlyn to, like, you can always stop. Just
no, that's true. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you
I was
sound
very
like
distracted
Ambessa right now.
I was very distracted because I was just like, how dare you? No. It makes sense, you know. I hope, if anything, it's just really fucking awkward. I would be fine with that turnout.
Yeah, that would be the way to play it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious because I was really intrigued by it. The newbies were kind of a sore spot for me, and then I was like, "Oh, this is you're doing something with her," but then I didn't see her again. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, same with the shield guy. We see him once; he doesn't speak, and then that's it. So I don't know. There's probably a lot going on in Act 3, so I don't know how much we'll see of them, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really loving that Jinx has a fan club now. This is another thing we see early on in this, and it was interesting to see that Jinx is not interacting with them at all. Like, she's kind of disappeared, and she finds this idea very strange that people are looking up to her in any way until she sees them, which I love. But that's the next episode, I think.
Yeah. I was just gonna
that's this episode. Never mind.
Yeah, it's this episode.
God, so much happens in this fucking episode. This is the prison break.
In every
God.
episode.
Yeah,
it's fucking wild. Can we talk about how fucking out of pocket it is for Savika? Firelights, Jinxers, washed up goons.
That line killed me. And they just, you know what?
You're like, oh yeah, that's us.
No, you know what it made me think of? It made me think of that Key and Peele sketch, where like the politician it was played by Jordan Peele, was talking about how he really wants to support gay people, and it keeps showing. No, that was Jordan Peele. They keep showing Jordan Peele, like, zooming in on him like he's the gay guy in the audience, and he keeps looking around like, no, not me. Like, they would look over and be like, wait, what? Oh, I did miss Savika in this act. We don't see her very much. I do like the role she's playing here, because I really like Savika, and it's taken me a while to get to this point. I've liked her as a villain, but I like her now as, like, someone who's actually really trying to bring us all together.
Yeah, I said it last time that it was really kind of surprising how much I enjoyed just spending time with her, like in Silco's office in Act 1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She's a character. Yeah, let's spend time with Savika. That's fine. I'm down.
Yeah, it was hard because, like, I think initially on my watch of Act 1, I felt like she betrayed Vander, and it was hard to get past that. Maybe that was like Vi, right? Like, she knows Savika as someone who betrayed Vander. But you see that she really genuinely believes what Silco was doing is right. And I'm not convinced he was entirely wrong either. So, like, it's interesting, right? That's what Arcane's good at doing.
Right. I feel like there's a lot of people that are loyal to people in this show.
Yes,
and Savika's loyal to a cause.
Yes.
And no matter who is championing that cause, she'll have your back if you're doing it right.
It's true. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I kind of agree that it's a shame that she's kind of out of the picture for this one. It's hard because there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot going on. I really do hope that the Jinx as a hero icon for Zahn gets more play in Act 3.
Yeah.
'Cause it feels like it's interesting world building, and it does pay off a bit, like in the prison break where they're kind of like walking by and touching her. And, it really gives the impression of, like, it's probably like does not have a lot of human contact. Jinx,
right?
Yeah.
What is this feeling? What is it? Ugh, I hate it.
Yeah.
That was such a good moment for her.
Yeah, Jinx broadly for the whole act, I thought, especially at least this first episode, really kind of carried it.
Yeah.
Again, doing a knockout job from the voice acting, like the scene where she's in Silco's office with the chair, even on rewatch, completely landed for me. Totally got me.
And like,
was any part of you worried that she kept Silco's body there somehow? Because there was like a moment where I was like, did she fish it out of the water? Jinx, did you go back?
I mean, she's fished other things out of the water.
I
Wouldn't
know.
it be her first time?
I was a little scared. I was glad it was empty though.
Yeah, I think, like, you mentioned the voice animation or the voice acting, but like the animation's obviously always been good.
Yeah.
For like the Jinx facial animation in this act was like way better somehow, like really fucking stellar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, this one really stood out to me because I just, like I said, I was rewatching. I knew what was going to happen and what exactly she was going to say, and it still just completely landed. And I felt very bad I felt very sad.
Especially like all the time we spend with Jinx and Isha in this episode is just like it's so they are so fucking cute.
I know, like, they are.
The little, having her dye her hair, the secret handshake that they've got.
They do some sign language.
The finger guns. Yeah, she's signing to Jinx, and like their relationship is just so wholesome.
So naturally,
Echo's gonna have to come in and turn back time to save Isha.
So that's the thing, right? It's like
that's what everyone's clinging to, y'all. That's what all my TikToks are about.
It certainly feels like it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isha, there's a lot. There are a lot of moments with Isha and Jinx that landed for me. The reunion and the immediate separation and the prison sequence both like really stuck.
Yeah.
The reunion. I mean, I kind of want to talk about the like Warwick at the end of that whole sequence as its own standalone thing. The Isha part of it, like the reunion is really sweet because Jinx kind of at first is doing her Jinx shtick, right? Mm-hmm. But then Isha starts breaking down, and Jinx breaks down. Jinx does a really nice interaction, and then when they get separated during that whole sequence, like it's so chaotic, and it's just like things are just heightening, and Isha's just like freaking like. Really breaking down and freaking out, and as
Savika's dragging her out.
Yeah, like I said, both of them really landed for me.
That scene too, just very reminiscent of a Powder breakdown.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
That's what could have been if Powder had a Savika in her life to hold her back from going to help
Literally,
the
right?
others. Yeah, and even when like Isha's revealed at the start, where she ends up doing the Jinx copycat thing, like I got a little pang of anxiety. I was like, oh,
Right.
I thought she was
really
gonna
understand the results of what's gonna happen, right?
I thought she was gonna die right there when the spear came out, but it hit Savika's arm. But I actually thought they were gonna kill her, and I mean that would have been a bad idea. Killing Savika's arm was a much better strategy. Although, what a bummer! She just got that fucking thing. She got to use it once.
Pretty cool,
and
right?
now I feel personally responsible because, like, I did the mini game in client. I helped build that arm. They took that from me.
How dare they, honey?
Oh man.
Maybe that's what the in-client game will be this whole time, is just you building different Savika arms, you know? She's gonna
That would be pretty good.
one now.
Let's see what else I want to talk about here.
I really liked the moment. I was gonna
Oh,
say a Caitlyn
okay.
moment when they're looking at the board, she and Maddie, and looking at the eyeglass straight into the Jinx poster, the Jinx wanted poster, and you just have Caitlyn's eye overlapping with Jinx's eye. The visual was so on point.
Yeah, I had that in my notes because I feel like, again, eyes broadly and then very specifically for Caitlyn is a thing that gets repeated a lot. I saw a lot in Act 1. I didn't look for it as much as the rest of this act went on, so maybe I'm just grasping at straws. But it's neat. Yeah, I was interested to kind of jump into Caitlyn just because, like, we see her and we haven't really seen what she's done, at least not so immediately. But she's already full of regret for it, and it's not like bought in and doubts things. And then on the other hand, does also seem to respect Ambessa even if she doesn't trust her. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
They have a weird relationship, or a kind of an interesting one. It's a little complex, maybe.
Yeah, it's very like... It's like they're both taking advantage of each other while both not realizing that the other is taking advantage of them in a way. It's a weird...
It's hard to say. I don't know if Caitlyn is totally oblivious to Ambessa taking advantage of her, but it's a tough call. I do like how she's kind of... I don't know if I could trust this woman, but I can learn from her, and that's what I'm going to do right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good for Caitlyn's character, because her just blindly following everything Ambessa says and does doesn't feel right for Caitlyn. You know, she's an investigator, and that's her thing, is she's good at observation and all of this. So
I'm glad we get to see that again in this act.
Yeah, I know, right? We hadn't seen that her little play-by-play in a little bit with the claws and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was neat when they're having the little... I think this is a later episode, but they're having a little sparring session, and Ambessa's going through the principles of strength and kind of points out that cunning is Caitlyn's sort of, okay, this is what you're good at. It's like you can see things that other people can't, right? And then not just your weird little superpower, but more like you as a character in some ways.
I also, just kind of touching on that scene,
Maybe.
Did you guys notice that the sequence of moves that Caitlyn did to take down Vi is the
Those
same
are
exact
Ambessa's
one
moves,
that Ambessa used to take her down in this scene?
Yeah, she learned it.
It's nice.
She's a
It's
quick
nice
study.
for sure. Yeah, it's interesting they've spent so much time learning these things, right? I think, like you said, Rebecca, Caitlyn, I mean, they had the little discussion around the fireplace, which I like. You got a nice little clear visual metaphor of like she's stoking Ambessa's stoking the fires in Caitlyn, right, to kind of get her back on track. But Caitlyn kind of says, like, I don't trust you, and then immediately asks, okay, but what should we do? What would you recommend? Like, if I was going to do a plan, what plan would that plan? How I'm going to do it. You know what I like about that scene too is that when Ambessa's talking to Caitlyn, as much as she is trying to convince her to do something, manipulate her, I did get the sense that she's also sort of speaking from, I guess, like the heart. Maybe, like, she was not completely bullshitting. She just knew that something that was true to her would also kind of be true to Caitlyn,
And you do kind of get that with Ambessa in several scenes in this act, I feel like, where, obviously she has a deeper scheme in mind the whole time. But there's also a lot of, like, I think that maybe this was an earlier act too, but, like, when, what's her bodyguard's name? Like Revik or something like that? Or...
He's a Legends of Runeterra card now. Rictus.
Oh, Rictus.
Yeah, when he was like, oh, you know, we gotta bring Mel into this, and she was like, no, let's keep that put her in too much danger. Like, let her hate me for now, as long as we can keep her safe. But like, we get that kind of vulnerability from her several times this act, even though she very clearly has goals in mind, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it makes sense, right? Given that Mel's been missing for many months now. What I find interesting is how little she talks about that, but it doesn't feel like they dropped the ball or anything. It feels like that's not something that she, you know, the way she handles it is like she processes it through kind of obsessing about like the fact that they didn't contain the scientists, right? And just also sort of raw brutality. Right, like I would point to the scene with the memorial where they're like torturing, essentially, like beating that Jinxer almost to death. Right.
Oh, that was rough. That made me sad.
There's no dialogue in that scene, right? It's just like that's the only sound that kind of impacts is the sound of that person being beaten, and it's very I don't know. I found it kind of a little gut wrenching. Like, it's not like there's more gore in other parts of this show, but that's the one that feels the most grounded. You know,
I agree. I think that was the hardest to watch for me. I think.
And so
I think it's very funny that Ambessa is overestimating, like talking about like the scientists who like Ambessa, much like everyone else in the world, overestimating the Black Rose's competence. You're like, I can't believe they thought to go for the scientists. They're genius.
Yeah, she says it's not coincidence, but it literally is, right?
Oh God, that's funny. I didn't even pick up on that.
You know what? LeBlanc's like, we count those. Those.
Put it in the W category for the Black Rose, folks.
We gotta take them where we can get them.
Show. Right? Even in this act, not the most successful. Could have been better, I guess I'll say. But I assume.
Did Mel stuff happen in the next episode or episode 4?
Yeah,
it was 5 more. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's good. We'll talk about that next.
Yeah.
I was curious. Do you guys think that Isha's bunny ears are from the actual bunny stuffed animal? I didn't look to see if the stuffed animal was still around or not, but Isha had bunny ears for that one scene.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'd be open to it. I'd be open to it. Yeah, I don't know. I like the details. I struggle with Isha a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I struggle with Isha a little bit because all the little moments land, and all the little details land, but it's very hard for me not to see the writers at work with Isha. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's a little hard. I have to really kind of divorce myself from that feeling when I engage with it a little bit. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't want to shit on it. Like,
are you just feeling yourself being emotionally manipulated?
Maybe it's that, right? Where it's like, it's. I wish maybe there was a little bit more of a character to Isha that was outside of her relationship with Jinx. It's hard because, like, does that make sense?
We don't have a lot of time, and the only time we have with her is with Jinx. Yeah, I do. I really like how. I think that some of what she does, like when she goes to and pretends to be Jinx kind of for a second, I think she does want to be Jinx, but I also think she is believing in this revolution more than Jinx is. So I feel like that's partially why she went, is she was there to like represent Jinx in a way, because she knew Jinx wasn't going to go.
Yeah,
and to just kind of be like,
Jinx
try to kind of push her
into action again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like you can be a hero. Yeah,
I'm open to that.
I do like that about her. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll say also, as I was rewatching it, this is reaching way far into the end of, the whole end of the act, but like they didn't really make an effort from the moment she's introduced, not the moment she's introduced, but throughout Act 1 all the way to the end of Act 2, reinforcing that like lack of fear and self-sacrifice, bravery, some might call it, is very within Isha's character. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so, like,
100%.
It doesn't feel out of the blue, or like, oh, this dumb fucking kid just causing a big plot problem. It's like consistently she throws herself into the mix. Like in this episode, throws herself at Rictus. And not anything to do with Jinx, I guess is a good point, but just because they're wailing on the Zonites, right?
Yeah. Oh, so, she's great. She is a little brave, scrappy kid. She's different from Powder in that way, I think, because a lot of people compare her to Powder and feel like, oh, she's a representation of Powder. But I don't feel like Powder was quite as brave as Isha is. Not to say that she didn't do brave things, but Powder was being shown running away and things like that. She did run away. And Isha doesn't. Well, I guess she was running at the very beginning, but those were very large men trying to kill her. For some reason, that's true. She did fight back.
She got old man blood in her mouth. Ew.
Really yucky. Don't drink too much, you'll turn into one.
That's what happened to me, folks.
Oh, honey. Very spriteful.
I'm very what?
I don't know.
Did you say spiteful?
Spritey.
Oh, like spriteful.
I'm spry.
Spry! Holy fuck. I couldn't think of that word.
Random, but isn't it a little weird how we live in like a city of inventors in Piltover, right? Mm-hmm. And like Sallow gets stuck with the most rickety piece of shit wheelchair I've seen in my entire life. One of the last remaining counselors. Okay. And it's just like random scrap metal that doesn't push correctly.
A lot of cultures don't prioritize disabilities very much. And I think you could say that about Piltover as well.
There you go. We'll say that's it.
City of progress.
Right? But only for certain people. I mean...
What I was going to say, in a city of inventors, why is it that we still have to have a guy in the test chamber to push the button at the start of Embessa?
Good point. Yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Like, imagine his perspective. It's like, hey, y'all are behind that wall, and I see you got those goggles. Should
I have goggles?
Right?
At least the goggles.
Like, no,
they won't help you. Trust me.
Do we have
where you're going, you won't
we could use a stick.
I like the idea that Embessa is so not science-y that she didn't even think of that.
Get the next one a stick.
I'm surprised that there aren't more people who have started studying hex tech. Since it became so mainstream, I guess. I don't know. I feel like Jay should have had more pupils instead of just him and Victor. You need a fail-safe, guys.
A rip-off would have been neat.
Maybe not doing great. And a rip-off. Or Camille.
Maybe the fail-safe is not training more people. They're like, if things go wrong, we want them to go wrong, and we want it to
end. Yeah.
I'm open to that. Well, I mean, from what we see here, it sounds like Embessa is getting the best of what's left, and they're all getting turned into ash.
That's true. Yeah, she's killing them. So. Now, why are you doing that, Embessa?
And then she's mad at them. It's like, you stop dying, you cowards.
Shitty scientists.
We did see that scientist. I don't know if...
we did?
Yeah, he was...
back in, like, the Progress Day, or...
He was in... he might have been in Progress Day, too. I didn't look back that far. He was at least at the memorial for the other counselors. He was, like, right near Jace, I think.
Oh, I don't even remember him.
Yeah, you can see little side characters still sticking around. The guy who got thrown... I'm pretty sure the guy got thrown through the arcade window in Act 1 was in the crowd in this episode with a little scar on his head, funny enough.
Oh, damn. That's great.
I don't know if that's true. I could have been seeing things, but he had a distinct face. And you saw it real close when he spat on that guy's boots. So,
Right? You get a real close-up of his mug.
Yeah. So the only other thing big for me on my notes is Warwick. I don't know if there's other stuff I wanted to jump into.
Let's get to
Warwick. I did want to talk about, right before Warwick, I guess, leading into it, that one enforcer who doesn't recognize Jinx.
Oh, yeah.
And says that her pants look like a half-eaten circus tent.
What's wrong with my pants?
That's such a good moment. That had such, like, God, what is it? Like, such Justice League energy. Where, like, Lex Luthor swapped bodies with, like, the Flash, and he's like, finally, I'll be able to see his secret identity, and, like, took his mask off, and he's like, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah. I like even before that, where the guard is, like, pointing the gun around, like, hard, right? Oh, man.
I also do like how Jinx, I believe, made herself a middle finger just to flip people off, because she tried to flip off Savika, couldn't, And then the next time she had to flip someone off, it was there.
She immediately went back to her.
She
tried to flip her off and turned around and put the gauntlet down to her workbench.
A middle finger right now.
Never again.
But Warwick, yes. The second Singe cut his hand, I was like, let's fucking go, baby. It's time. It's sooner than I thought it was going to be. I'm ready. Sooner. I'm so ready.
I thought they were going to drag that shit out for another 3 episodes.
I know.
At least another episode. I didn't think we were getting them until at least 5.
Yeah, I kind of thought you'd have the activation sequence thing happening sort of at the end, right? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, I like Warwick Vision, but when he shows up proper, what an opener for a champion, right? It starts with him squishing a dude. Turns that motherfucker into jelly, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I like how we don't even really see what happened to the Enforcers up above very much. We see, like, Mbessa get ready, and Mbessa, I don't know how confident she is here when she's seeing what's pulling up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which
she puts her mask down.
I know, she puts her mask down.
There's a certain level of...
but we don't see really until they come up after the jailbreak, and we see exactly what has been done to everybody. Warwick's design is so... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, even sort of mid-sequence when Savika comes down to the lobby and it kind of pulls out to, like, here's what's happening, and it's just, like, bodies and blood. It's just, like, and that heavy guitar comes back in, like, it's like, okay, fuck, I guess we'll deal with that later.
Oh, it was great.
The introduction, too, with the cable car, like, calling back to his teaser. Oh, the callback to his teaser,
right? That had to have been a callback to his teaser, right?
Yeah, very fun.
And, like, a little detail about this, too, was just, like, the fact that there is a cable car. Because last time we saw somebody going to Stillwater was Caitlin, and she had to take, like, a ferry. It's like, I feel like it's really telling how many more people.
That's a really good point, John, that they needed, like, a faster way to get there. Because they're just throwing Zonites in Stillwater. Holy shit, you're right.
That's such a clever observation.
Oh, that's great.
You were going to talk about his design. I'm curious what you thought.
Oh, I wasn't sure about it at first. Because I was like, okay, he's still kind of human-like here. And I thought maybe it was something they were doing for the non-league players so they could kind of see, like, this human side of him. Especially because they do reveal at the end of the episode that this is Vander, which is another thing I didn't think was going to happen so quickly. But I'm more thinking now, just to rip our hearts out again, it is intentional that he still looks mildly human because he's not done yet.
Yeah, that was, I thought, very interesting. I had seen some other, like, people talking about it with that suggestion. I like that idea a lot, that he will be fully Warwicked out.
Right. Version 1.0. Yeah. We know Singe loves iterations.
And he does believe that Warwick's blood is going to be what saves Orianna, which we also get that reveal soon.
Right?
So exciting.
Yeah, I'll be curious about it. How would you feel if it did not change and this was it? Let's say
I'd be okay with it.
Game.
I guess, because it's just like, I guess, how do you explain that away, how it became a full wolf head? You know, he was Vander. I get him having wolf bits, but a full wolf head is a strange one to accomplish. What I was thinking is, because he regenerates the way Warwick does, so if his head did get blown off somehow, that perhaps when it regenerated, it was more wolf-like. And I imagine the Vander parts are all gone now. But I don't know. I think I'd be okay with him not being full Warwicked out. I've gotten used to the design, but I do think it was just to make us really sad. To give us all the hope in the world.
It worked.
And one beautiful family reunion hug. And they're like, well, now fuck you guys. Mm-hmm.
Plus, you want him to emote more, right? It's like, it's probably
that's true.
Face, I assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone find it a little funny when they were downstairs and they were hearing all that shit happen upstairs and they saw like the elevator coming down? It's like, did he like get in the elevator and like hit the button?
I saw a TikTok of that actually. Somebody like for saying it was Warwick and then the elevator, they're just looking at their phone. Like, what did he do with that elevator? What's going down there?
Oh man, oh, that's great.
Also, the enforcers looked so much like. I know we talked about this on the ARAM map the other day. Like, man, these minions look a little bit like enforcers, huh? The enforcers looked so minion-like in this scene, like marching in with their shields and like
I didn't even think of that. I'll have to rewatch it and see. That's so funny.
Maybe a little edit with him, Warwick getting like plus like 19 gold or whatever. Right.
Every time he kills one, and he has to miss the cannon, of course.
This is right. This is what it's like getting farmed as a minion. Oh fuck! He just bought that item that's like Tiamat or whatever. Oh fuck! Oh god!
Oh no! All right. Any more thoughts on episode 4? Or should we move on?
I don't know. It's fun to see Rise have as the little like soundtrack to the bug battle for when they brought Jinx back and
yeah.
Oh yeah, the Telstone.
Oh damn!
They're really trying to make it happen.
2024.
Please, for the love of God, guys, this is a game you could buy.
All right, yeah, you want to jump into 5 then?
Let's do it.
Yes! So excited. The second this episode ended and Vander said Powder's name, I was like, immediately, Jinx has to go get Vi, and that's what's going to bring them together. And I was so excited that that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I like the little montage we get. I love seeing Vi knock off that dude's jaw again. So fucking rude.
Sorry, I'm like looking through my notes. I'm trying to think.
No, it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Pull this one apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing which one, it was funny seeing that he had gotten a new jaw, and then 2, funny seeing her knock that shit off again. Vi now has a Jinx mirror. That's fun.
That she punched. Yeah, that was a really good parallel.
Yeah, they keep kind of pulling back on the imagery. I feel like they almost had a little bit of that going on in I think it's the next episode, where Rick just gets thrown through the glass. But maybe it's just that's how glass works when you break it, you know?
Who knows?
Can't all look different. Yeah, Vi and Jinx are interesting. It's kind of fun to have. It is fun to have them together. I really did like. There's little moments where when they find that. I want to talk about the flashback at some point, but there's a little bit of it after that where Jinx is sitting there, and I think she has a line about, this things could have been so different if Silka had read this, and in the back behind her you see Vi does go to console her and then doesn't. And
that broke my heart so bad. But it was great. It was very real. Like, she just wasn't ready to do that with Jinx. Mm-hmm. Whereas by the end of this act, in that explosion, she's literally shielding Jinx with her entire body. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I wanted. I really liked how tense it was. I liked how they fought each other, and it was very sisterly, the way that they were fighting each other, which was great. Making fun of, like, her tools, and then her bitch hands, and I don't... these, like, insults that they're throwing at each other.
Called her fat hands, which is... we get a nice in-game Jinx quote.
Oh, you're right! Yeah.
Also, Jinx's, like, bitch slap.
Oh, slapping Vi across the face was so fucking funny, dude.
Doubly funny... because it lit up the tunnel.
It did light up the tunnel. Yeah.
Was that whole idea just to pay off that one specific?
Right.
Yeah, her
I would not be surprised.
Like, 1 second.
Yeah, right. I did it.
Let's move on. It's almost like that's even. Let's move on. Yeah, it's nice. And again, it's another little sequence that kind of is like Isha, jumps into the fray, catches a patented Vi right hook to a child. Right, like.
Yeah. God, she loves
the Vi special.
Oh, that was devastating. Vi learned so much about Jinx without saying anything, and just through observation and just seeing how Jinx has changed. And I really, really loved that. Like, she watches Jinx with Isha a few times, and just seeing this tenderness with her that they haven't shown towards each other in years. Devastating. And I think the moment I really loved was when she stopped and looked at the painting of Jinx that people had made and Vander's behind her. And it made me wonder what she was thinking. If, one, she felt like that should have been her instead of Jinx on that painted, like she could have been the face of a rebellion but wasn't, or if it should have been both of them there together. I don't know. But I really loved that moment when she saw that and she realized that people in Zaun were admiring Jinx. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It, like, I feel like it reminded me a lot of the season 1 scene kind of where Caitlyn is talking to Echo and explaining how, like, yeah, you know, you'd be well within your rights to do this, but, like, the violence will never stop. And, like, Vi wasn't saying anything. She was just kind of watching it, and you could see her falling in love in her eyes. Like, just, you know, she doesn't talk a lot, but she watches a lot.
She does watch a lot, which is good.
Interesting. Yeah.
I liked the parallel, too, of her seeing that mural compared to, like, Isha seeing her wanted posters, like in the earlier episodes. Like the kind of level of surprise they both had, like, you? Her?
Oh, Jinx is the embodiment of her?
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't even think about that. I like that.
Yeah.
I would love if they played on that a little bit more, right? That's a neat little image to try and draw together. Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, we talked about how we had to have our own separate section for Warwick in the last episode. I feel like we should have a flashback section for this one.
Sure.
A Black Rose section.
Okay.
An Orianna section, or like a Singed section, I guess.
Okay. Well, what do we want to talk about first?
Sure.
I think Singe happens early.
Sure, yes. Yeah, Singed and Caitlyn, right? And to a degree, Mbessa, I suppose, also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, okay. So I was following Caitlyn a lot through this, because I was interested to see the fact that she had come in with regrets. We didn't really see her kind of engaged in anything, like, maybe she's more guilty by omission or allowing things to happen. I don't know. But she kind of has this opening bit about when she's kind of seeing all the devastation of Warwick. She's like, oh, you know, I thought after all this, we would stop seeing it. You know, how foolish was I? And she throws him in these cells, and it's like, it seems like this is something that, like I said, she's not that bought in, but this is something that is bringing her more into the fold, right? Wow, this crazy, brutal thing happened because of something that happened again from Zaun, right?
Man, I thought Noxians were monsters because they were punching that guy, and fucking look at this.
Yeah, but then she very quickly, getting that explanation from Singe, and I love when she puts together that he had made Shimmer. I don't even know if Mbessa was aware of that. I'm trying to remember if Mbessa had a reaction or looked surprised that Caitlyn had figured it out. But I love Singe's, like, monologue after this, and how it really adds so much layers to him. He's still pretty vile, but he's trying to save his kid, and as a parent, I can relate to that. I would do vile things to save my child. Like, really,
I'd make
truly.
a werewolf to save.
I would absolutely. I would play Singe, and I would put the laugh button on my mouse and spam it the entire time.
Yeah. To your point about, like, Caitlyn mentioning the Shimmer, and I do like the difference in that scene about how, like, the difference we see with Caitlyn and Mbessa, right? Because Caitlyn comes out and is like, oh, I did some investigation. You're this person. And also, I'm pretty sure you're this other person who we had no records of, but, like, that's you. I'm pretty confident. Like, I'm a good investigator. And what we see Mbessa doing is looking through his personal effects and finding the first tiny bit of leverage she can find
to get him to side with her.
Yeah, got it.
No, I like it. I'm curious about the Singe confrontation, because Caitlyn comes off very as if, I mean, she has him at gunpoint at one point, right? She comes off very as if, I don't know, she's gonna take him in or something like that. You know what I mean? But then we kind of, as we step into the next episode, it seems like they're all
working with him
together, right? And at this point, he's working under Mbessa. At this point, I really expected what was going to happen was like a betrayal from Ambessa, right? You know, because in that room, Caitlyn's outnumbered ultimately. I don't know. I'm more interested in the idea that Caitlyn actually was swayed to work with Singed, but they don't really have a conversation around it, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. It did feel like there was a conversation missing there. Because it very much, like, Caitlyn did not seem on board with Singed in general. And we know Ambessa wanted to use him, but then, like, it does kind of skip ahead to where, like, no, we're cool now, I guess. Or maybe that was the secret tipping point, and we just never got to see it. Like, maybe that's...
I mean, maybe, right? Maybe Caitlyn is wise enough to suspect that Ambessa and Singed are. I don't know. I mean, this is starting to get a little reachy. Maybe.
I think it's more that Singed knows how to find Warwick, and that's something that Caitlyn is now a very high priority because they need to get him.
Yeah, I'm more open to that, I suppose.
I absolutely love.
Maybe that's the context for it.
The timeline setting that this scene gives us.
Oh, with Orianna being a kid still?
Well, not necessarily with Orianna being a kid, but I think, like, I don't know if maybe there were other things that I missed in earlier seasons or something to set where we are in League timeline. But I feel like this may have been the first kind of semi-confirmation as to around where we are. Like, we know a few things, I guess, right? Like, we know Singed is going to sign on with the Noxians, probably to do chemical warfare against Ionia.
That's true.
So we're pre-Ionian war on this one, too, which means we're Swain rule over in Noxus. So, like, I feel like this is the first kind of where are we in the timeline that we're seeing.
In some ways, yeah. I think that one is. I mean, because that's such a big event, right? And it cements us so, like, close, because it's something that we know is going to happen. Like, when we look at, for example, in like Act 1, where they were having a play about, like, the crowning of Jarvan the Fourth, like, that's kind of a signpost, but that's also something that has happened, right? So we can't really necessarily estimate, okay, is this like a new production, right? Is this like, oh, the old classic about J4 busted out, right?
Did they specify it's J4? Is it the crowning of J3?
And I assume it's maybe they have the same crown. They're not so specific. I just based
I think
it
was J2's crown that got fucked, right?
Yeah, J2's crown. Like, I thought it was the first.
I thought it just looked like Jace, is what I'll say. Because they had the little banners. It looked like it looked like J4. Is kind of what I thought it looked like. So I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's a really good point, though, probably about, like, the state of the world, right? It's also been hard, too, because Arcane has, you know, especially in Season 1, like, we never had the expectation, like, oh, this is so tied specifically to the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, it's kind of in uncharted waters.
Yeah.
So.
I like that they named him, too. Like, instead of us just getting the Orianna bit.
Oh, yeah,
right?
like, you have to know a bit about the lore.
They gave the Revik drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was glad we got this. I don't need to see Orianna now. Now that I've seen her as a child, and I'm fine with it.
My prediction, I did it.
Oh, what was your prediction? I don't remember.
That we were gonna get at least one champion.
Oh,
that
you said that would be really important.
I mean,
LeBlanc is probably gonna be it. We just haven't seen her yet. Do we want to move on to that next? Mel and the Black Rose, because that all happened in this episode.
Yeah, that's
I
have so many questions.
Some real Hellraiser shit here.
Really Hellraiser shit. The chains and stuff was so very cool. I do love how she did see her brother, and then, as we thought, but then her brother is probably LeBlanc or a Black Rose person. It's LeBlanc, right? We all know this.
Yeah, that would track. That'd be fun.
Right. But I'm so curious now about Mel and what her powers are and who her father is, because that's what they planted here.
Yeah. Real.
Do we have any theories?
Man, I've really been thinking about this.
I know. Is it Shuriman? Is it a Shuriman thing or a Solari thing? Because those are the two theories that are jumping around.
Yeah.
Because it looks very Solari, but Ambessa's originally from Shurima.
If she's originally from Shurima, I feel like that's stronger. I mean, if you look at some of the like, at one point, Kino, or Kino, quote unquote, refers to them, that is the Black Rose, as stewards of the old world, which I don't know what to read into that. The place where they're kind of being held at. I don't know if this is an actual physical place or just like a little pocket dimension that looks like a real place, but the Ocularum is what it's called.
I have to imagine it's at least...
It looked a little Shuriman in that it was a kind of... But there was water there, so who knows?
Well, John was theorizing that they put her somewhere to solve a puzzle.
That was kind of my theory, because you know how she was like solving the runes on the wall and shit? I mean, it could be two things, right? Like, they could be trying to find confirmation that she is the one that has powers, since Kino clearly wasn't. But kind of my thought was that, like, there's something that they're trying to break into, and they don't know how to break into it, and Mel was in the process of breaking into it for them before she realized what she was doing.
Yeah.
I'm open to that. I like that idea. I will say that I feel like there's a line or two from Kino that seems to be almost discouraging her away from it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's genuine or if it's just like that's how he would banter, and that's just how that's Kino. He always kind of So hard to say. I like that idea though. That would be kind of neat.
I really like too after she realizes that it's Kino and or not Kino, and smashes their head into the wall. We see it cycle through a bunch of
people
faces,
she's been,
which is, I guess, a couple things that are important there. Like, they all were people that Mel knew.
Yeah,
they weren't like, it wasn't totally random people. I don't know if it's like the extent of whatever the shapeshifter was capable of, or whether they were specifically shifting through people that Mel knew. Who knows? But the final kind of, after it turned into Mel herself, her eyes are exactly Ambessa's eyes from the opening. Which leads to some questions.
I'm curious. I feel like Ambessa's not been replaced yet, right?
Right.
But if
I don't
she
think
does
so.
get replaced, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, she hasn't been replaced here yet.
Yeah.
Maybe shit's going back on at Noxus that we
They
have
all
no
think that
fucking
she's
clue.
back. She has no idea. They don't have phones. I mean, it would take so long to get a message.
True. That's very true.
Hex gates are all gooped up
All
or whatever's
messed
going
up,
on. Yeah.
They got goo in it. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what happens. It seems like they just could put her back in the chains at any point if they wanted to.
She did bust out of him with a lot of golden light.
That is true.
Know.
Yes, you're actually right. That's a really,
but now we don't know what that is.
What's going on? Yeah.
I'm so curious.
Now, I mean, obviously, this is one of those tinfoil hat things, right?
I have a couple. I've heard a couple tinfoil hat ones. Okay.
I know everybody wants Rel to be in this. I know Rel rhymes with Mel. I mean, obviously the parallels are already there. But, I mean, if we look at Rel's design, the what is it? Ferromancy is a very golden thing, apparently.
I think if anything,
her shit is strong gold.
Rel would be Mel's daughter.
And if we're looking at abilities specifically that the Black Rose is looking for and want to take for themselves, we already know they really want Ferromancy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how exactly that translates into what specifically Mel is doing with her powers. I mean, maybe it's a lot of off-screen stuff. Who knows? Maybe when the bomb hit, she pulled all the metal in the room through herself, protected herself, and then dropped all the metal real quick before anyone could see it. Real like sneaky oopsie-daisy.
Smushed sallow.
She's actually responsible for all the deaths in that room. The bomb didn't
The bomb was
kill anyone.
like really... It was just glitter. Oh, gosh.
Jinx is so confused. Why are they so mad? They gave him a sweet glitter
I know
bomb.
glitter is hard to get
Glitter
out.
bombs are shit. Wood that I just got exploded.
Also, Mel lost her tiara in this scene.
Oh, I didn't notice
She's
that.
had that on like all Arcane.
Never gets. Yeah.
Well, I want to rewatch the part where... God, what's her brother's name? Kino. Quote unquote Kino was telling the story about Ambessa and how had fallen in love and stopped, and that love resulted in a child. Because I'm like, where was she? I don't remember if there was any context to that story.
Now, he says he picked it up from some people in Basilic, but I don't know if that means that's where the rumors kind of are based, or if it's just like, that's where I was, but I heard these rumors about some other place.
If it happened in Basilic, all I'm saying is that Rel's parents are both Noxian.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's where the Blood Brothers are from.
Could have happened.
But, and they call her sister. So sister to whom, or I guess, is it supposed to be like sister to LeBlanc?
Sister to Rel?
You really like this Rel theory a
Rel's
lot.
voice got a lot spookier since the last time I...
You know what? Ambessa would probably sell her child to Noxus. Maybe Rel was one of her children. I don't know, actually. She's very family-oriented, kind of.
Yeah, I think it's frankly, more of it also recontextualizes, like, what we know about Mel, which is that, like, she was exiled, but no, I don't know if maybe y'all had already, like, read it, but not until around here I kind of picked up, like, oh, okay, she's exiled as, like, a safe, for her own safety, right? If she's what has been, is the thing that's been taken. It's not because, like, not actually because she disagrees with Ambessa, but because Ambessa's trying to keep her safe, so she gets her as far away as possible, right? I don't know. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
And only comes back when there's a potential weapon they could use to protect her.
Stop it. Yeah.
I'm so curious about all that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting, I will say, how she, as much as she's into Hextech, once she's like, yeah, you have a Warwick? I mean, I could be interested in a Warwick. I came here for a Hextech, but I could pick up a Warwick on my way out.
That is really funny. She's like, oh, this thing could really fuck people up.
I've never seen anything like this. I've been to a couple of places that we've mentioned on the podcast. Yeah. No, this is kind of funny. Okay, let's talk about the flashback. You want to talk about the flashback? What's up with the flashback?
Yeah. Man, we get... so much cool stuff here, I feel like. One, like, Jinx and Vi's mom. So much like Jinx.
Yeah.
So many mannerisms and, like, vocal tics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Lan's nice callback to
and looks a little like Caitlyn. The cup and the straw, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's Jinx's cup.
And the song that's playing
yeah.
plays in Act 1.
Yeah. And they use music a lot. Oh, I don't think we necessarily mentioned it, but during that Jinx scene in episode 4, kind of when she freed all the people, it was "Dear Friend Across the River" for that whole scene. It was very touching.
I feel like they call it back a couple times throughout this act. They kind of pull it back in.
Yeah. Same thing with Vander's thing. They pull back a couple times, like the music that was playing as he, after all his kids got blown up, and he like marched out of the room to go fight. You know, what's his name? Deckard, juiced up Deckard on his own. That theme plays a lot. Which I don't think we mentioned this. I think this is this episode. I could be wrong. Deckard's head in Sin's lab.
Oh, yeah. I saw someone mention that. I didn't see it the first time. Something that's throwing me off here. I like this flashback a lot. I feel like we're seeing a lot about why Vander really adopted Vi and Jinx, and why Silco grabbed Jinx as well. Because he knows who she is. But I felt like we really didn't get any hint that Silco knew Vi. And you know what I mean? Like, no compassion for her, when I feel like maybe he would have, because he seemed to care about Vi's mom so much. And for him to, without a second thought, just be fine with killing her. It just feels really off, especially when she's young, when she's a little older, but she's like, 13 or something like that, or maybe a little bit older in Act 1. And I don't know, everything else feels like it's been planted, and that didn't feel like it was planted for me.
It was like, I definitely feel like, there's like a missing scene here almost. That's like high, because we know what their relationship is like pre, we know what it's like post, we know that after the bridge, Vander like blamed Silco and decided that he should kill him for that. There's the missing piece for me is like, why did he blame Silco more than himself for whatever led to this, and is that in any way related to why Silco also maybe didn't have contact with the kids post-birth at all, maybe didn't actually know who they were? Like, there's missing bits in there that I'm curious about, that I'm curious if they're going to flesh out a little bit later.
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head with it. Both of y'all, honestly. I don't know. I kind of have a little bit of a worry that they're gonna kind of leave it at this. I don't know. They try to make. So. There's a lot of like. It's. Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't they have grown up knowing Silco then? I mean, their parents didn't die until they were a bit older, certainly enough to have memories of him.
It's like you said. I mean, maybe he wasn't involved.
Like Vi should have known him at least. It seems strange that he wouldn't have been involved before they died. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be. Maybe he really doesn't like kids. No, I don't.
He doesn't actually like her.
Again, it's like you said. If there was a scene that maybe you brought us, you kind of push things a little forward, where Vander and Silco have a little conversation, and Vander makes mention that like, oh, you haven't really been around since the baby came.
Kids have been, yeah,
or since Violet came, or maybe like Silco feels like it's making them distracted, right? That would be kind of in line with him.
Yeah, I could see that
adoption, right? And he kind of feels like, oh, who gives a fuck about him? It's like, this is bigger than any one family or kids, right? Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there again. It's a thing where like the individual like moment of it, I think lands. I do like her kind of coming up, and she's like, "Well, I can't drink this," and just drops like, "I'm knocked up."
I know the way she says it, and the saying "knocked up" implies like just by some rando, like this is her partner.
But that they all three have that sort of relationship where she can kind of just like drop shit on them like that, and how they talk, and they kind of take it pretty in stride. Like no one really blinks at it, except Vander does maybe a little bit, but he recovers pretty quick, and it's like
seeing their dad and like seeing their dad put like the little mining helmet on Powder. It was like, she does that shit to Isha so much. And it was so cute.
Are these the next episode flashbacks you're thinking of?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the quick flashes.
Oh, it's weird that he's there for those, but.
That was like in Vander's mind, right? Like all
Something like that, yeah.
And then the mom, she did the little peace sign, and Powder used to do that. She would do that, and her mom did it. It's cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was a great scene. This original flashback that we get. It was a really good scene. I loved seeing Silco like this too. Like this, I feel like younger Vander looked pretty similar, but this younger Silco, like, man, Vander really fucked him up.
Sure.
And just, he doesn't say very much, but he's just very soft in the way he interacts with them, and truly they all just have the same dream. Yeah, he does have a sense of humor.
He's got the little NOZ on his notebook.
NOZ.
Silco for like the Nation of Zon.
Oh my god.
He's like, I want to see a page of like all his little designs all kind of scribbled out, like just Z. Z's cool. It's the last letter.
And when Powder had found that letter and said, think of how things could have been different if they just found this letter, and think of how many things could have been different if they didn't have all the misunderstandings that they did. Just all trying to make Zon a nation, and so many people have this same goal, and they can't stop fighting each other to make it happen, which is part of what I think Savika's rally is about, like getting everyone together.
Even the washed up thugs.
Even the washed up thugs.
Washed up goons.
Shitty goons, yeah.
Shitty goons. Worthless goons. You didn't do shit.
So we still need you, though.
Is this like their old, like, headquarters? Or is this like, this is like a mine shaft, right? So is this like where the old, like, because they've got their mining jackets and stuff in there, including the child,
almost like a break room or some shit, right? The kids crave the mines,
right? Yeah, you can't keep them out of there, right? I try, but they've also got Vander's message in it, and it has like a flag on the wall that's got like almost American Revolution sort of imagery on it, where it's like got red, blue stripe, or I think it's like red and white stripes, and then there's some sort of symbol going on in the middle. I have to look at it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious about kind of where this is. I wish I had a little more context for it, because I get this, like, it's in a mine. It could be like a mining shaft. Maybe it's like Union headquarters before they kind of tried to form an actual nation or something like that.
Maybe. I think that would make a lot of sense, because this is probably where their plan started, right?
Right.
Of making their own nation. I do love, too, how that's where Vander went back to. These mines. Just like, that's where he hid. Oh, God.
Right. And then, like Mystery Men, it ends with a group hug.
Oh, this is great. All of this is just so very good. Because Vi has to trust Jinx again in order for it to happen. And this is done so well. I mean, we've seen that shot of Warwick jumping at Vi, and she's just kind of standing there. That's great. And then dropping her glove. And then it's dark, and Jinx has to hope that she was right. And she was right. It's just all set up so well.
Yeah, it all really does land. Like you said, I really like the conceit of her having to trust Jinx is kind of what she has to do here. It's nice. And I find it kind of interesting, because I feel like that shot of Warwick leaping has been used in trailers, but it's always in, like, I think they assumed, like, oh, they're about to get into it.
Yeah.
Instead of it being the actual opposite of what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good with that, with their trailers.
Yeah. I still don't want to see them, though.
That's fair.
I don't want to see the next on
previews.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the next. I wish I didn't see Vi's goth stage, because that would have hit so good, I think, if I didn't know.
Although I do think it's a cool thing to put in, like they showed her like fighting in the pits in the trailer. Like, there's a few clips in there, and I feel like I really thought it was going to be a bigger thing than like
she
a
was
start of episode
presents.
montage. Like, I feel like their trailers are more misleading than anything.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, I'd be expecting the next watch a trailer for this, and it would have like that scene, like those, what was it, Stink Maw and Scuttlebutt fighting. You're like, oh shit, there's underground fighting pits here, and then you watch the episode and you find out that they're just the bugs.
That was really cute.
Another important thing in this episode, Jace does a murder.
Yeah,
this is episode 5?
This is the last.
Yeah.
This is the last thing, right? In episode 5 is when he kills Sallow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is also was like, well, I gotta watch episode 6 after this.
I mean, you have to. There's so much going on, or so many theories going on about like all of this. I like the idea that this is not Jace's first time coming out of the Hex Core and trying to do all this shit. That he is kind of in a time loop right now, trying to do this perfectly. But I have no idea if that's true or not.
I feel like it's definitely some sort of time right?
Because when he goes to kill Victor too, I mean, we're jumping ahead now to the next episode, but you're seeing different sides of him. Like when it goes and you're seeing like multiple Jaces, to me that felt like he had been here before, like he's been in this position.
And you're seeing different versions of the people that are here too. Like you're seeing very fucking voided out versions of
I think that's what they actually are, and Jace is seeing it.
Or
like that.
If it's not what they are, at least like what they could be if he fucks up, you know?
Or what they will be eventually.
What they will be, yeah.
The brutal Sallow murder, though, was so fucking good and so perfect. And I feel like Sallow really shows you that what Victor's doing isn't it. It's not right. This hive mind that he's made. And Sallow is not Sallow anymore. I mean, the Sallow we know would go down and get healed and they'd be like, all right, peace, motherfuckers. And then he'd go. Like, there's something else all up in his brain now.
Yeah, there's a couple of details
Get
here.
healed and then immediately tear down all of the ramps that they had built over.
God!
That's some Sallow energy right there.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like that's what Sallow would have done.
It's like, I never even would have used this one, but not that anyway. fuck it. Yeah, there's some interesting details on this one. First off, I want to kind of pick at what is Sallow taking and why is he taking it?
That's a really good question.
He's taking it out of the hex core. I don't know what it is. It's covered in corruption, and consider that, like, I don't know if they're doing this regularly, but Sallow would certainly have access to this compared to almost maybe any other cult member, if you think about it, right? He's a cult member.
I mean, I'm curious if this is like help, because we know through a couple different things that Victor's power is finite, right? Like, it is draining him, and I'm curious if these are like little juice ups,
batteries or something. I'll be open to
He
it.
needs his battery. That's true. He's kind of like hooked up into something at the end there.
Yeah, I'd be open to it. It'd be interesting if that's what it was. I should look at that scene again and see if maybe there's. I was so caught up in what was happening, I didn't look at that what he specifically was connected to.
Yeah.
But another one is that they make a real point of when Jace is speaking, his breath shows and Sallow's does not. I don't know what that
and their breath
means.
showed when they were initially down there the first time too, like Heimerdinger, Jason, and
true.
Echo. So
Sallow's just like not breathing properly, or he's not warm, or I don't. God, that's so riveting.
My tinfoil was it.
He did.
Oh no!
I was gonna say. I mean that when Victor pops out of the shit that brought him back to life, Jace is like, "Oh, Victor, you must be cold," and he's like, "No, I don't think so. That's not what I'd call it."
That's true.
Maybe they don't get colds anymore. It's just a recursive energy.
They're little elves.
They become hearthbloods or whatever. What they call them.
Yeah.
You're right. I can't remember. It's been a minute. My tinfoil was that what if like they're like little walking corpses or whatever. Like if we like he's not warm because his body isn't really alive anymore. It's been kind of transmuted into a kind of a construct, right? Hostess consciousness.
I like that. I do like the idea that this place, this compound that he's made, doesn't look like this. It just is an illusion that it looks like this, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
It's going to be like an Always Sunny situation.
Oh, yeah, when they're dancing at the reunion.
You mentioned this before when we were watching it, how this was like a new version, like a new take of his original lore. And I think, like, through this lens, that fits really well. Because, like, his original lore, right? Like, people were going to die, so he built robot bodies for them, took out their human brains, and put them in the robot bodies. In this version, he, like, is just turning their bodies into robot bodies.
Yeah, kind of.
And connecting all their brains.
Yeah, that's kind of I thought maybe it's like a little nod or echo of it. I don't know. It seems very convoluted.
An echo?
Right?
Yeah, I'm really dying to know about Heimerdinger Echo and Jace in the next act.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hating on Jace. There is 100% a reason why he's doing all of these things that he's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a knower. He knows way more than we do, guys.
Yeah,
also, that fucking hammer. Holy shit.
Oh, that brutality of that. Like, it's going to be a skin, I think, actually.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I'm surprised that anyone would not immediately understand.
I think they're just immediately mad about Victor and then Vander. Because the Vander stuff was undone. Although Singe, I think, is the one. If we're going to episode 5, I think he did inject Vander when all the chaos was happening.
Yeah,
I think it was quick, but I think Singe is the one who turned Vander back. That on top of Victor dying probably didn't help.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think like
or dying or whatever happens to him.
Either way, they were fucked on that one. I think probably what Singe does was probably what prevented, I guess, Vander from dying or some whatever happened to everyone else in that compound.
Oh, they all kind of started screaming
happening
and
to
collapsed.
him.
Yeah, I don't know. He hadn't fully been Victored out.
He did have a little thing on his head. So
he did have some of that on his face.
Like you said, it's not good. It doesn't.
A little bit of Victor goo.
Yeah.
We get a lot of nice Victor moments just in this episode. There's like a lot of.
Yeah.
First of all, we get him referred to as the Herald, which was nice.
They even call him the Machine Herald.
Yeah.
Jinx does, I think.
Oh, you're right.
He gets the glorious evolution line.
Oh, the line. I was so happy.
He said it. He said it, man. He fucking said it. We get that end of episode monologue where we're finally getting to see him like, this could have worked, but no, it's really, humanity really is the problem. If we can just get rid of that little bit of humanity, we would have been good here.
Well, even in the end of the last episode, when he's having the conversation with Chase, it takes him a very long time to be like, "Oh yeah, you're different." He's just sort of like, I don't know. He's kind of checked out in some ways. You know what I mean? Like Chase is very obviously immediately like
yeah, he just came out of the Jumanji game. Like that's what it looked like.
Yeah, and they're just like, "Oh, you seem different." It's like,
did you do something with your hair, or what is
Husbands, huh? They never notice.
Which is weird too, because like we see, I mean, Victor's probably got a better idea of this than anyone, because after Victor does after Jace rather does the Sallow murder, we get like that analysis scene with Victor and Sky, just like, you see that shit? Like, the fuck was that weird webbed shit?
Yeah. That's an interesting little bit too, because he says something about Jace. What is it? There's another will at work within him. Very interesting line. He describes whatever it is that he's looking at as self-annihilating. Seems very voidy. I don't know. There's something weird going on with it. And what's up with Sky?
I don't know, man.
Sky seems
Sky.
Right. I was so confused by all of their star conversations.
Like the good side of the Arcane.
Still a hallucination for him.
God, what's her name from Battlestar? She seems like so.
Six.
Was it 6? She seems so 6.
I suppose. Although she seems a lot more nice than 6. She's a lot more
it's like 6.
6 was very nice to the person she was talking to a lot.
Yeah, but she was also like.
She just had evil machinations.
I don't know. I don't know if I would.
And yeah, she did a little bit of child murder, okay? But who hasn't in this universe?
If I only hits them, shut up.
Right? Is this a little? It's just established dominance. Yeah, I don't know about Sky. She seems pretty good. But there's one little bit where Victor, I can't remember what specifically Victor is doing, but she kind of comes out of the back of his head in the same way that a lot of Jinxes, like Milo and Silco, do, which is it feels like maybe that's intentional. Like maybe maybe it's just to be like she's that, but good. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like what we'll probably get is that Jace has seen some horrible future where Victor's work is complete and it actually destroys everything. And, yeah. Sky is in some way part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I love Singed's line to Victor too when they're talking about like the thing. It's like, oh, Victor, like, you must survive. It was such a good Rio parallel. Like, the mutation must survive.
Yeah, I really like that little bit. I really like that little bit. And this is something I meant to mention earlier, but it's constantly doing those flashes of Orianna when Singed has different pieces of equipment, where he's kind of like running his hand over the whatever the hex core thing that is in Warwick, and then it kind of flashes to him running his hand over the Orianna.
Oh yeah.
Containment unit, or whatever. I like that Singed to grab Victor's hand too. Surely he knows that Victor will see all that. He kind of just plays it straight. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. So, Let's see.
We have in this episode too is the Great Caitlyn turn.
Yeah,
which probably in the works for a little bit, but being kept secret. And then in this episode, there's some triggering points, I would say, right?
She got called Cupcake.
That's 90% of it. Also, it's just good luck that the Noxians were not aware of Vi's handcuff immunity, which she's clearly
she's always
displayed
not in the
several-
handcuffs that people think she's in.
Well, it's consistent. It's established. I'm open to it.
I'm curious. So we had talked in the last episode about the. I'm gonna forget the name of that item again. What is it? The runic cairn or some shit like that?
Yeah, Cainic Rookern.
Cainic Rookern. Man, I got them in the wrong order. But yeah, we're seeing that shit at play a lot here, and it really makes sense why. I mean, obviously this dude's fucking yoked, and it's good to have as a bodyguard anyway. But as someone fleeing from the Black Rose,
having this,
it makes a lot of sense to have this dude who's just got a shit ton of these, anti-magic runes at his disposal at all times.
Sure, you just gotta put him in the fire and say a little chant over him every now and then. It's no big deal.
Demacia needs to learn about this shit.
But it's
Except
magic.
I guess that's magic, yeah.
Sure.
Anti-magic magic.
It counts or doesn't. Whatever.
That's what theirs is anyway. They just don't want to admit it.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think they played with it a lot in a very fun little way in the when he has that fighting Jinx. It was neat.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah. He got fucked up though. Damn.
Yeah, I was surprised that, I guess, I don't know. I in some ways I thought maybe they would kill him earlier when they first ran into Warwick. I was a little surprised that he survived, but it is a neat way of kind of like, showing where I don't know, Vander / Warwick is kind of at that moment. I don't know.
I saw a theory that maybe that guy turns into Urgot.
Sure,
Since takes another kind of dead corpse to experiment with.
Well, if
he's got a heyday here.
Right?
It's an all-you-can-experiment with buffet.
Yeah, when they were first going into it, I was like, are we going to get a little mini Ionia? Is this like a dress rehearsal where they just like chemical bomb this relatively peaceful group of, I guess, entirely pacifist group of people?
Man, that would have been hilarious because if our theory of what they are is anyway, that would have been completely non-effectual.
They wouldn't have cared at all. And the rest, I mean, you're in Zaun.
That's true, too.
They're able to breathe this in better than you guys
this
can.
is a little bit better.
It's like, oh, damn, is this that Piltier?
Although, now that I'm thinking about it, props to the Noxians down there. I didn't see any of the Noxians with breathing masks on.
That's true, and they were pretty
That's a
far
good
down
point.
because they were in the... the place that was really
place that
infected
no
by
one
Shimmer.
wants to go.
They were at Vi's old house, right? Vi and
what's
Jinx's
left
old
of it.
house, yeah.
Tiny bit of a pillar.
Yeah. Now it's grass, at least.
That's true. I like that detail. Man, they were growing shit down there.
Yeah.
I like that detail. I wish there was a little thing highlighting it as either like they're that badass, or conversely that maybe they wear breathers, and then when they get close to the commune, you don't need to wear them anymore.
They took them off, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
that's true.
because all the fresh air from the grass.
I'm
Sure,
curious.
Something like that. I'd be open to
I am
either,
really
frankly.
curious if all this stuff is really here. I don't know.
Vi was
'Cause growing-
eating some of it, so I'd be curious to see
That's
what's
true. Oh,
what's
God.
up with it. I
The Fae, though.
it's there.
The Fae feed you something delicious, and you think it is, but it's not. She ate a rat. She didn't even know.
I would be a little surprised, but I'd be really into it. Let's see what I got here.
Got a Caitlyn net.
What? Oh, the Caitlyn net. Yeah.
Yeah. It lasted for a little while. I guess it wore off after a bit.
Yeah.
She's strong. It's fine.
It makes sense too. I feel like, in game, it's like, oh, we're gonna shoot a net, and we're gonna capture them in the net. It made a lot more sense that it's an electrified
Yeah.
net.
Yeah. Yeah, it tracks. Yeah, the little turn. I like the little Caitlyn turn scene. I wish I saw a bit more of her and Vi talking about her agreeing.
Yes. I'm with you there. Because I think we're joking that it's being called Cupcake, but I think really it was Vi saying that she's trying to save her dad. Like, she is doing something very noble here. And hearing more about that or that conversation would be great. Especially, us seeing that Vi is intentionally leaving out that there's a certain someone in that compound that Caitlyn doesn't like very much.
For the second time, leaving out the fact that Jinx.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry. It's just, we're kind of like made up a little? I don't know.
We're feeling
Wouldn't
things
it be
out.
crazy? You can move in with us.
You and Maddie.
No.
I do hope that I mean, surely that'll get some play in the next episodes, right? Because she makes
Yeah.
note of it. She realizes Jinx is there. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But there's just too much
no
going
time
on.
to process.
Yeah,
Watch
they
it,
can't fight
for
each
sure.
other. There's way more dangerous shit going on.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question. Why does Vi have her gloves? That's a big one. Why does she have the gloves still? She's not enforcer still, right? She's got the little. I did see a little.
I think she just fucking took them.
I was
Have you
gonna
opened
say,
that?
like, I think Caitlyn, when she stalked off, just like left her, and that
Yeah,
was
she
probably the
still had
last
the
time
gloves.
she saw Vi. Vi was
Saw
probably
anyone.
just like, all right,
Yeah.
well, fuck.
Did they do?
I was surprised she had them too, though. I thought maybe she would have like. I guess it makes sense that she brought them with her. She had seen it. She's going to do some serious shit, but
Yeah.
I think
Well, I
not
mean,
seeing
like-
them during the fighting sequence made me forget.
Maybe they don't allow it. I'm open to that. I could be like. Yeah,
She
it
probably
reads
doesn't
as
want
if,
people
like,
to know she has them because they're worth
sure,
a lot
make
of
her
money.
big
I'm
turn.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down with it. It's just
That's true. They were going
Those
to rob
gloves.
Victor just for looking like he was made out of metal.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But those gloves and the things in them become very important. So you know,
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Misha.
We talked about all the parallels to Powder, but like, man,
this is the biggest
what
one
a
for
what a
sure.
parallel here! Just shoving all those gems in that tiny little gun.
There's only two, but yeah, that's a
I
lot
think
of.
there's three.
Oh, is there three? Oh,
there's
she
the
took
one-
two from the gloves,
Yeah,
right?
she took
Two
one from each glove. And
Oh,
then
I didn't think about that.
quick hands too, stealing that shit.
Yeah, that was quick. Devastating. We'll see. That whole scene, that slow motion, Yisha's last stand scene. A lot of people are really trying to say that she's going to be alive, but I feel like it was such a big goodbye for this to be like Echo Rewind's time, and
I feel
but
like
he
this
is the
gonna be
boy
an Echo
hero.
Rewind's time.
I really hope so.
I kind of think so too.
He shatters time. Please shatter it. We need you.
The last
Well-
time we had a big emotional goodbye like this was Echo.
Was it?
Like, I feel like, well, like one that we, Echo fighting Jinx on the bridge, like one of these types
And
of.
they both blew up. Yeah, blew up. Yeah. Also, Echo being in the painting, like the
Oh,
firelights think that he's dead.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
true.
That's so sad.
it makes sense.
They're
It
going to be
tracks.
very relieved. Yeah, I mean, it's been maybe 6 months. You would not think that Echo's still alive.
Yeah,
The tree's looking okay for 6 months.
It is looking good. Maybe things
it's a
have slowed
long-term
down.
problem, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say they have more agriculture they can turn to now, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
awkward.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I really do feel like they're gonna pull that time rewind on it. I'm really curious about it.
Yeah, I'm curious if they have done this a bunch of times already, and this is just the one that we're seeing, and that Echo and Heimerdinger are involved in what Jace is doing right now in some way, wherever they are. Although I don't know if that's true.
Surely they are, right? Like, because Jace, there's Jace has a repeated.
He's talking
line
to
through.
somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's saying I won't fail. Right, like he could be talking to himself, but it certainly comes off more as though like these. Maybe that was the last line he said to. They decided who are we going to send through the portal. It's Jace and he
To
said,
kill
Echo and
Victor? I mean,
Heimer.
it should have been Echo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it was Jace's job in the first place, and he
I
fucked
know.
it up,
I did
so.
find. I mean, this whole thing's so heartbreaking. The fact that Victor opened his eyes before it happened, and Jace still hesitating, even though this is something he desperately needs to do, and potentially has tried to do several times already. If there is a time thing happening, yeah. But it is something that he promised. He was supposed to die.
Yeah. Again,
Now-
I'm really.
And the gear. Oh, the gear.
Yeah, surely the opening of like either the next episode or the one after is gonna be that.
Is the gear turning back?
Yeah,
That's like
right.
really what I'm hoping for, is something like that, right? Or just the explosion itself just sucking back in. I don't know. Something like that.
And more than season 1, I think season 2 has included kind of like an opening music video in almost all the episodes.
That's true, yeah. So that would be like the montage.
I feel like we're going to see the montage of all their attempts
and Echo
to
just
stop
being like,
this in the
motherfucker,
past.
you gotta stop going this way. It doesn't give you enough time.
So you didn't even try on this one. It's like, nah. I
fucked it up. I fell down. Can you rewind it? I fell down.
It was blown the first, like, I was like, whatever. I'll take a minute to grab a smoothie.
This vendor was selling corn dogs, and like, God, it's
so
been
hungry.
So
We've been
long
doing
since
this
I've had a fucking
for
corn
days. Oh man.
That's my prediction, though.
Honestly,
I'm putting it down.
Oh, that would be ideal.
I'm a little weary of anytime we want to introduce things like time. I know that it's kind of a core component of Echo, and we knew we were going to see it at some point. It's really tough to... I don't know, right?
Yeah,
like it's tough.
sticky
It really
wicket.
changes the stakes. I know that if they do use it, they're going to use it to save Isha now so that they can not use it later to more devastating effect, right?
I mean, I don't even think it's just about Isha. I think that explosion was much bigger than just Isha.
Oh yeah,
getting
no,
killed.
I'm just as
yeah.
a
I don't know. I'm okay with Echo's limits because, again, if this is just on Echo, which I think it should be, or the Z drive, right? Because that's what it's about. They've created something that allows them to go back a handful of seconds. It depends on just the amount of seconds, which is not a lot, or minutes, whatever it is. And that person with the Z drive has to be there when something horrible happens. So I'm okay with these limits. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a bit uncharted waters. Who knows exactly what they're going to do with it?
Or Isha's just going to be dead. I don't know. And
very well could
the
be.
explosion happened, and Warwick's head was blown off, and Isha's dead, and a bunch of other people are, and
Or
now
maybe
we
it's
see what
taken
happens to
back,
Jinx.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that could be a way to get her into Jinx as she is now, kind of crack her back into full messed up Jinx mode. Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. I do agree, like you said, it's a really thorny place to step into. It's like the MMO of writing, where it's like, okay, you can tackle it, but you mess things up real bad. So we'll see. I didn't have too much else for this. I didn't want to call out the whole watercolors sequence because I found it quite lovely.
It was really so devastating.
Very sad. I think it, for me, personally at least, it made me feel a lot that, like, in my own current parenting journey, I'm at a time that I think I'll look back on and miss, and like seeing someone, like, I don't know, engaging in, like, remembering all these little moments with these young kids. It's like, I don't know, I liked it a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was the true goodbye to Vander, I think, that sequence, which was so sad.
Yeah.
Because even if time stuff is happening, I think this is the end of Vander. Like, Vander's gone.
I agree.
After this. Yeah.
For sure. Although I did have a phrase pop in my head at one point during one of the healing sessions, which was werewolf grandpa. I don't know what to do with that, but I think it was when Isha was giving him water.
That was really cute. Stop it.
Werewolf/dog grandpa. It's like, okay. Give him this treat.
This was, I have one note that was completely unintentional, but
I love it.
It was off the top of my head because it's just relevant to things that I've watched recently. But the noise, there's a tone that plays. I think this was during the initial Warwick fight scene. I think they do it again during this time too, though. He's got his, like, normal tone, like, in-game when you do Blood Scent, like the wom, wom. But they had used kind of like a slightly different one, and it was actually, like, almost exactly what the death theme was in Agatha All Along. It's like the same two tones that played anytime death was on screen, which was a really interesting, like...
Was it those two?
Just the Jaws theme. But yeah, it was. I mean, obviously they both came out at like just about the same time.
Yeah, it was not related.
Completely unintentional, but a cool parallel.
Sure. But yeah.
Any other thoughts on this wonderful act?
White hair and watercolor body is not Vander's look. When he first shows up in that little healing session, I was like, oh, that's not it, Vander. It's not a good look, my man.
Oh, no. So, I'll have to look at it again. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's not, I think it's not for me, but everything else is pretty good.
But Vander, get your shit together. Well, I guess he can now.
Well,
What are you going to do? He's a wolf now.
But yeah, I think this episode is probably the most example. I don't know, the best example I would hold up for doing a in summation episode. There's just a lot of things that happen that like we really won't know what they mean or how we should feel about them until after.
That's true.
We know what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that's it for Act 2. But yeah, we'll be doing Act 3, and then we'll do even more Arcane content to kind of really just get our feelings about the entire season. Maybe we'll give ourselves like an extra week to like watch the whole thing. Oh, true, the whole show.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you so much for listening to our rambling about Season 2 of Arcane. We have a twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams on Saturday evening, CSTFT and ARAMs with viewers. If you ever want to play along with John, you can. He's smiling beautifully. It's really nice. Oh, God, what else do we have? Sorry, I'm getting over being sick. I don't feel great. We have a Discord. If you want to find some people to chat with, play League with, make fun of us, you can join the Discord. And we have a YouTube, because your beautiful faces on YouTube. And please watch our reactions that we do, because there's a lot of people who see our reactions. We like do reactions to League stuff, and the most recent one was the Worlds opening ceremony. And a lot of people go in there who don't know who we are, and they're not nice, guys. You guys are nice, and they're not nice, and I don't like it.
Y'all, if you want to see something hilarious,
it's really funny. Go
Google, to the comments. Just Google disrespectful League of Legends 2024 reaction. We are literally...
That'll be us. Yeah.
Needless to say, we talk a lot.
People say we were disrespectful so many times that it's improved the search for it.
Yeah, we own the algorithm.
Yeah, but please go to our YouTube and like give it thumbs up, because that one
thumbs it down. Amplify it. I want 100% dislikes on that video.
No, engagement. Do whatever, but
not like we can monetize the video anyway.
I know we can't even monetize the ones that do well. But yeah, our reactions are fun, and yeah, we talk over it because we're fucking reacting to the content.
I will say our reactions are almost exclusively for y'all. They're not.
They're not for those weirdos.
No.
This is not.
And yeah, I called you
listening
weirdos.
to this podcast, you will not appreciate.
Yeah,
there's a big warning on it. This is not for the general audience.
Right.
They got mad at us.
Get out of here.
Because we called League fans nerds, and it's like, guys.
Well.
Anyway.
Oh, fuck.
And we've got a Patreon.
We also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mr. Dead and King of Hearts. If you were Jace or if you were Victor and I was Jace and I had to kill you to save the future,
please do it.
I would do it, but I would find a way to bring you back. I don't know if Jace is going to do that.
I don't think
but
that
I would do
work.
it. No, I'd find a way.
Okay.
I'd make the cog work.
Would you pull Hextech goo into his
mouth
hole?
Oh.
His chest?
It was whole? What? in his chest.
I would chew up the Hextech goo and baby bird it into. well.
This is not a good one, John. This is.
You're welcome, patron.
A little Zach spackle make you be feeling right as rain.
Zackle. Anyway, please be sure to join us next week because we are going to be talking about the final act of Arcane, the final act total ever. It's ending, guys.
Yeah. Remember how excited we were, how much anticipation we had, and now it's just like,
I
guess
know,
it'll be over
it's
now.
just over.
But it will exist. It will always be there.
And now we're going to jump into Ionia next season. And it's
Ionia?
That or Noxus.
I think we're going Ionia. That's my theory.
Shit.
I think we're gonna. It's gonna be another thing that involves Noxus heavily, but I'd be willing
You're
to
seeing
bet
the invasion, and maybe Singed will be the one who goes over. That would be interesting.
I think that tracks.
I would like that a lot, actually, because then we could see Orianna's progress, maybe.
And the name of the show instead of Arcane is gonna be
What's their magic
Spirits.
called? I forget.
Spirits.
Spirits isn't bad.
I'm open to that. I like that. Orphan.
Orphans would be really good for Ionia.
A lot of orphans. Yes.
Orphan Rain or something.
Orphan Rain.
No Parents, where did they?
Yeah, stop it. I gotta pee. Please stop the recording.
Bye.
All right, bye.